On the news, Bola Tinubu Kashim Shettima sworn in as Nigeria's president and vice president. Nigerians react to inauguration of Tinubu as 16th president, say they are confident a better nation will emerge. And Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu takes oath of office for second term, vows to surpass expectations. Glad to have you join us on News Now. I am Mary Kanu. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken the oath of office for his re-election as the 15th governor alongside Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat. The oath of office, which was administered by the Chief Judge of Lagos State, Justice Kazim Alugba, at the Tafawa Balewa Square on Monday, kickstarts the governor's second term of 4 years. At the swearing-in ceremony, Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was elected in 2019, assured residents of the state that his administration's second term would be greater than its first tenure. Our correspondent Simisola Adigun now reports.
As early as 8 a.m., the Tafawa Balewa Square, Lagos, was packed with dignitaries and guests who arrived to witness the inauguration of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his deputy, Obafemi Hamzat, amid stringent security checks. Even the early morning rainfall could not stop the program of events, which officially commenced with a march-past parade. Shortly after his arrival to the venue, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu made his way in a gradual procession round the square while waving to the large audience. In his inaugural speech after taking his oath of office, the re-elected governor said his second term will prioritize achieving an inclusive government and gender balancing. He added that his administration was committed to the safety, security and prosperity of Lagos residents.
I made an important promise 4 years ago that I'm compelled to remind you of. I said, and I quote, "The Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu you see today shall not change or try to become something I am not. Every day I have served you as your governor. Over the last 4 years, I have counted my time in days, in hours, and in minutes, and consistently and habitually done my very best to live up to my personal vow that I will not try to become something that I am not. I have strived to serve you Lagosians excellently without being addressed as His Excellency. I have served you with humility, with compassion, with a listening ear, bending over backwards when necessary to demonstrate to you, the people of Lagos, that leadership is first and foremost a servanthood. I have done my best at every junction to remind you Lagosians that this land belongs to all of us, and all of us who call it home must partake of its goodness.
On his part, Head of Service Lagos State Akinwunmi said the day marked the beginning of a greater Lagos journey, which is anchored on the 6 pillars of development tagged Themes Agenda.
The success recorded at the polls showed that these rare qualities displayed by Mr. Governor did not go unnoticed by appreciative Lagosians. Without any iota of doubt, Lagosians were resolute and steadfast in their conviction to re-elect a visionary and focused leader whose exemplary performances in office became a reference point even amongst the opposition. The outstanding achievements of the administration in all sectors have also attracted international accolades.
Among the many promises made by re-elected Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu is that in his second term, his government will stop at nothing to make sure that the best is pushed forward at all times, and will also do much more in all sectors, including health, education, and infrastructure. Simisola Adigun, TV 360, Lagos.
On March 18, Governor Sanwo-Olu had said his second-term mandate was won on the strength of the diversity of Lagos State, proclaiming that his re-election reflected the wishes of all residents irrespective of faith, creed or tongue. Reacting to Sanwo-Olu's re-election and inauguration on May 29, residents have expressed optimism that the governor's second tenure will implement more of the dividends of democracy in the state. They also urged the Sanwo-Olu-led government to deliver on its electoral promises for the advancement of Lagos State.
We should find ourselves, regard ourselves as Nigerians, not a divided group. You understand? So the thing is, the governor coming into office the second term again, he should work very hard to bring these people together again so that we can go exist and bring in development into the state, Lagos State in particular.
We can see all the work that Sanwo-Olu, commissioned during his first tenure, and then we all know that it's from most of it is from it's from the old plan that Tinubu has have in place when he was there, followed by Fashola, followed by Ambode. And then we want him to also come with an idea. We want him to come with his own idea.
For our new elected Sanwo-Olu in the second time, I think you need to look up to gaining more power, because people have been talking about it's kind of weak, but we need more hands to support him, and I think this time around it's going to lift up the youths and make things all right for us, and I believe their new regime now is going to favor all of us, our children and our family all together, and I pray so.
And Nigeria has welcomed a new dispensation with the swearing-in of the country's 16th President and 14th Vice President. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima were both sworn in on Monday at the Eagle Square, Abuja, in the Federal Capital Territory. The oath of office was administered by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, in the presence of former President Muhammadu Buhari and other dignitaries. Well, this next report has more details.
On parade also is a highly
the long-anticipated day is finally here. The 29th day of May 2023, a day many looked forward to as Nigeria welcomes a new administration. The venue of the swearing-in ceremony is the Eagle Square, Abuja, and the day began with dignitaries including the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, traditional rulers and ministers trooping into the venue. The venue is also graced by the new Prime Minister of Gabon, the President of the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire, and delegation from various countries across the world. The day slowly wound down with the arrival of the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima, an outgoing Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, and the signal that the President and President-elect would soon arrive. As expected, the arrival of the President-elect Bola Tinubu and outgoing President Muhammadu Buhari officially kicked off the ceremony. 2 months after being declared winner of the keenly contested February 25 presidential election, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, administered the oath of office to President Tinubu and his deputy, officially inaugurating them as President and Vice President of Nigeria to steer the ship of the country for the next 4 years. President Tinubu, the 5th democratically elected Nigerian president in the 4th Republic, takes a stroll around the Eagle Square showing appreciation to supporters through waves and kisses. In his first address as 16th President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Tinubu promised that the era of subsidy payment on fuel will come to an end.
The livestock we introduce the best modern practices except taken to minimize the perennial conflicts. On fuel subsidy, unfortunately, the budget that I've glimpsed before I assume office and what I've heard is that no provision is there for fuel subsidy. the fuel subsidy is gone. Justify its ever increasing cost and the wake of dry resources. We shall instead channel whichever to fund into better investment.
Shortly after handing over power to his successor, former President Muhammadu Buhari, who swept to power in 2015 and completed his constitutionally two-term tenure, departed the Eagle Square in Abuja and proceeded to his country home in Daura, Katsina State, where he is expected to retire. Mary Kanu, TV360, Nigeria.
Well, for more analysis on what is expected of the new administration, Theo Akatuba, political affairs analyst, joins me on the news. It's good to have you join me. Well, a new administration in Nigeria, the Tinubu-led government is here. What are your expectations of this government? You know, what are some of the pressing issues you believe should be first addressed?
Thank you very much. It's a beautiful day. I'm sure that Nigerians have listened to the president and in his inaugural speech, and I'm sure he must have encouraged a lot of people. The local and international community had a piece from the president, and the general feeling is of renewed hope, of course. What we are waiting for now is the actual implementation of these good ideas. The first thing the president needs to quickly address, of course, is security. To bring down the level of insecurity and improve the security situation. Otherwise, his call for foreign investors will not be heeded because nobody wants to go and invest in a place where people are generally unsafe. We hear recently of what happened in Anambra State. We also heard what happened in Jos. So we believe the president needs to come straight to work and deal with that matter. The second one, of course, is to begin to look at how he can deal with youth restiveness by engineering the system to begin to create jobs. And he talked about omnibus job creation bill. So I think that with the approach of the president, he needs to deal with insecurity, he needs to deal with youth restiveness, because out of youth unemployment, you get massive insecurity.
Now, in his address to Nigerians, the new president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's spoken an issue that affects many. That's the removal of fuel subsidies. So was this promise hastily made by the president, and how quickly would you expect the change to materialize?
Well, the subsidy regime will expire on the 30th of June. So within the next 30 days, the subsidy will disappear. Nigerians will be faced with the stark reality of very new petrol prices that's going to be very, very different from what they pay now. It's going to move as far as 300 to 400 naira per liter. Now, Nigerians do not yet understand the impact of that. And my worry is that I hope the government will be prepared to manage the shock that Nigerians will experience and will have to live with. Nigerians, from what I see, my observation of Nigerians, is that we are not ready for the removal of fuel subsidy. We are only talking about it. We do not know the level of impact it will have on the entire economy, on the buying power of the people initially, till we get used to it. So I pray and I wish the president that he has the intelligent men and women to implement it so that it will not look like another currency exchange or currency swap that we had that never worked out.
Oh, well, all right. Theo Akatuba, political affairs analyst, thank you very much for your time and your contribution. Now, with the inauguration of Bola Tinubu as president, some Nigerians have said reviving the fortunes of Africa's largest economy is a critical challenge the president must tackle. Lending their voices to that of the president who has promised to unite the nation, some Abuja residents who spoke to TV360 crew say they are optimistic and confident that with the wealth of experience garnered over the years, President Bola Tinubu will steady the ship and put Nigeria back on the right track.
The experience, the capability, the human capital development led by the Tinubu administration is a good way to look out for. It is a ray of hope, a light at the end of the tunnel that we have been looking for. And thirdly, in my own humble opinion, this is the first time we are not having an accidental president. What I mean by accidental president is someone who took years to prepare. He has been nursing the ambition, a lifetime ambition to be president. So I'm very optimistic because he's prepared.
We're expecting a lot of more from this new administration, especially in person of the new president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So people are expecting more. And because of the hardship on ground, so expectation is very high. So we are expecting him based on the policy, and we know that, okay, he's the man of the people. And he listens to the people. So the policy making, so it's going to be like integral part of this administration, so that's the area they need to check in order to know to reduce the hardship in people.
Every serious government must encourage women education. That the limited education of every woman should be SSCE. Most especially in the northern Nigeria. I'm an advocate of good education, most especially in the women gender. So I think the new government should work towards that very, very well, because women are the people that have the children. We groom the children, we groom the society. Without us, we can't, the society will be null and void. So I think that the new government should do a lot of work on women.
Well, we'll take a break here, but still to come, troubled Chelsea hire Pochettino as new manager. Details of the story and more when we return. Join us again.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On Digi 360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
Digi 360, dissecting the issues.
Welcome back. Now a recap of our top stories tonight. Nigeria has welcomed a new dispensation with the swearing in of the country's 16th president and 14th vice president. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima were both sworn in on Monday at the Eagle Square in the Federal Capital Territory. The oath of office was administered by the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Olukayode Ariwola, in the presence of former President Muhammadu Buhari and other dignitaries. We also told you that Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has taken the oath of office for his re-election as the 15th governor alongside Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat. At the swearing-in ceremony, Governor Sanwo-Olu, who was elected in 2019, assured residents of the state that his administration's second term will be greater than his first tenure. Well, in case you missed any of our news bulletin or for more updates, you can catch us on Limex World TV or log on to our website on www.tv360nigeria.com. You can also follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, Instagram and YouTube at TV360 Nigeria. On Facebook, we're at TV360 Online. And UK ministers are under pressure over whether to release unredacted WhatsApp messages and diaries belonging to Boris Johnson to the COVID-19 inquiry or risk sparking a further legal row. With just 48 hours remaining before the deadline to hand over messages and notes between Johnson and his ministers, the government is standing firm in its refusal to divulge the material. The Cabinet Office has until 4 p.m. on May 30th to respond to the request or risk the prospect of legal action. The Cabinet Office has already provided more than 55,000 documents, 24 personal witness statements and 8 corporate statements to the inquiry. We'll take a short break and return with business updates, to stay with us.
Hello? Yeah, I found your wallet in front of a supermarket. Meet me at Apple Junction. Yes, I'll be waiting for you.
Now we find out. Two of us.
Thank you very much, officer. You know, it's surprising that men like you still exist in the police force.
Yes, so... Oh, yes.
This is just a token of my appreciation.
Oh, no. You don't need to do this. We're only doing our job.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
You're welcome.
Now I know police is really my friend.
Yes.
Friend. Hey. Okay, which came up with this one now? I don't understand.
You know your problem. You are greedy. I'm a policeman who is doing his job. All forms of corruption in the force. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Folashade Ogurinde is standing by with the latest business updates. Folashade, over to you.
Well, many thanks, Mary. In business, Nigerian youths have been urged to imbibe investment culture to prepare them for a vibrant and secure future. This was re-echoed at the second edition of Every Child a Milestone Fund debate competition in celebration of World Children's Day. Speaking at the event, the Managing Director, Cordros Assets Management, Balaho Aino, and Executive Director, Cordros Femi Ademola, said the idea is to direct the interest of the Nigerian child to investment portfolio and wealth creation.
The first edition was a brilliant one. It's novel. It was the starting point. And at that time, the idea was to be putting schools together to have debates among themselves. So part of the learning at that first time is that maybe there's need for some preparation too before it starts, before it happens. So this year we tried to introduce some little lecture, and that's what you saw. That first thing we did was to give a little bit of financial, literacy to the children. Then after that, we now ask them to debate within themselves. So next one, we're going to probably extend again, create more time, maybe more elaborate program where we can still do our financial literacy and then bring some of those schools among themselves to debate.
After the presentation was now when we had the debate, and we tend to have it with several schools and not just Corona. So we believe that to afford us time to instill those things. If you notice, there was a lot of scenario in today's presentation. There was a lot of question and answer. So really, we think, yeah, so today's one was intra, and we just thought to just have it different than what we had last year.
I love the fact that I'm learning new things in my career. It's giving me like a more open range of career paths I would like to choose, and then more things I would like to do for my future.
I learned that you should invest your money so that in the future
you have enough money to do many things and enjoy yourself.
That's it on business news. Back to you, Mary, for the rest of the news.
Thank you for the update, Falashade. Now on the global scene, Malawi authorities have ended a corruption trial against former President Bakili Muluzi. Muluzi served 2 5-year terms as president between 1994 and 2004 and was charged 5 years after he left office alongside his former personal secretary with abuse of public funds amounting to $1.7 million. There had been no real progress on the case under the administrations of successive presidents who enjoyed a good relationship with the former president. On Monday, the Malawi High Court said it had freed Muluzi from all charges following a decision by the country's head of public prosecutions to discontinue the case. And in sports, Chelsea have announced the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino as the new head coach from the beginning of the 2023 and 2024 season. The Argentine will begin his new role on July 1st, 2023, after agreeing to a 2-year contract with an option for an additional year, and will return to the Premier League 4 years after being sacked by Chelsea's London rivals Tottenham. The 51-year-old had been out of work since being dismissed by Paris Saint-Germain in July 2022 and will replace Frank Lampard after the former England midfielder returned to Chelsea as caretaker boss until the end of the season. Well, that's the size of our news bulletin this evening. Thank you for staying with us. I am Mary Kanu. Bye for now.